friends, and welcome back. It is December 10th, and we have our ornament. On our ornament, we have these two things that look kind of like rocks, and these are called tablets. And before you say anything, no, this is not like a tablet that you have that you play on, like your iPad or something. Different kind of tablets. These are stone tablets. So before we had paper, people would carve things into rocks. Think about how hard that would be. So if you're ever complaining about having to write something down, be grateful that you can write it down with a pencil and a piece of paper and you don't have to carve it into a rock. It's a lot easier these days. Anyway, that is not the point. These are stone tablets and they have 10 things written on them. There's a little hint on what our story is. What's kind of cool is there are 10 things on our tablets. It's December 10th and our story is called 10 Ways to Be Perfect. And we do skip a couple stories before getting to this one. And I did record those in other videos. Those are, I called them bonus stories. So it will make a lot more sense if you listen to the stories before these ones. We just don't have enough ornaments for every single story to fit, okay? So if you have not, go back and listen to those stories and then I'll meet you back here. If you've already listened to them, then great, let's get started. 10 ways to be perfect. So there they all were. Grannies, granddads, babies, uncles, aunts, children's moms, dads. Out there in the middle of the desert. They had blisters from all the walking. They were hungry and thirsty and much too hot. We don't like it, they said. It stinks. And so did they, for that matter, because no one had taken a bath in weeks. Now remember, because this is something they'd forgotten, God had done amazing things for his people. He'd hidden them inside a cloud. He'd moved a sea. He'd set them free. But God's people still weren't happy. They didn't care about being free. Wasn't it better when they were slaves? At least they'd had lots of nice food to eat. God doesn't want us to be happy, they said. It was the same lie that Adam and Eve had heard all those years before. God has brought us out here to kill us. God doesn't love us. But they didn't know God very well, did they? Every day of their journey, God kept showing his people how well he would look after them if they would trust him and obey him. When they were hungry, God made the sky rain with food, bread coming down from heaven. What is it? They asked each other. They didn't know, so they called it, "What is it?" Which, of course, is a very good name for something when you don't know what it is. When they were thirsty and started quarreling, which means fighting, God made water flow from a rock. Moses called that place Quarreling, because that seemed like a good name too. And still, God's children didn't trust him or do what he said. They thought they could do a better job of looking after themselves and making themselves happy. But God knew there was no such thing as happiness without him. So God led them to a tall mountain. God wanted to talk to his people and show them what he was like. He wanted to help them know him better and tell them about the special land he was going to give them. The whole earth belongs to me, God said, but I have chosen you. You are my special family. I want you to live in a way that shows everyone else what I'm like, so they can know me too. So God called Moses up the mountain. The great mountain shook, and a thick cloud fell. Thunder roared, lightning crackled, and God gave Moses 10 rules called commandments. I want you to love me more than anything else in the world. And know that I love you too, God told them. This is the most important thing of all. God gave them other rules, like don't make yourself pretend gods. Don't kill people or steal or lie. The rules showed God's people how to live and how to be close to Him and how to be happy. They showed how life worked best. God promises to always look after you, Moses said. Will you love Him and keep these rules? We can do it. Yes, we promise. But they were wrong. They couldn't do it. No matter how hard they tried, they could never keep all the rules all the time. God knew they couldn't, and He wanted them to know it too. Only one person could keep all the rules. And many years later, God would send Him to stand in their place and be perfect for them. Because the rules couldn't save them. Only God could save them. And that is the end of our story. So these are a picture of the 10 rules or the 10 commandments. And so we can remember Moses, and we can remember how God took care of his special family called the Israelites. We'll hang it on our tree. All right. Oh, I hung it backwards, guys. Maybe? I feel like this should be easier than it is. It's still backwards. I'm just gonna hold it like this for a second. All right, guys. I love you very much. Again, this is Miss Sarah, and I will see you tomorrow. And that is it. Merry Christmas.